Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. We're going to today read the Murli of 20th May 1974. Only the children who are seated on Baba's heart throne are the fortunate ones. What is Bab Dada seeing today? Today, he's seeing the rosary of the children who are multi-million times fortunate and have the fortune of happiness. He's very happy on seeing the speciality of every bead of the rosary. Just as Baba is happy to see the elevated fortune of the children, so do you too constantly remain happy on seeing your 100-fold fortune? Can you constantly see the star of fortune sparkling in front of you? Or does the star of fortune sometimes hide away from you? The star of fortune does not change, just as physical stars sometimes change their position, does it? There is only one star that does not change its position. Are you such a star? That is, are you a star who has determined thoughts? In this world, you call such a star the North Star. So if you just pause for a moment and remember the way the sky looks and the twinkling stars, but there's generally one star which is of a permanent nature, which stays in a similar position. And Baba is reflecting on that star, which is called the North Star. So have you become those who have such determined faith in the intellect, those who are constantly stabilized in a constant stage and multi-million times fortunate? Or are you still becoming that? Do you bring the expansion of your fortune of happiness into your awareness? What are the signs and attainments of the fortune of happiness? Do you know them? Those who have all attainments are said to be those who have the fortune of happiness. Do you lack anything in attaining all attainments? In life, the main attainments are elevated relationships, elevated connections, true love, and all types of wealth and success. So we'll once again read this sentence. What are the main attainments in life? The main attainments in life are elevated relationships, elevated connections, true love, and all types of wealth and success. Check all these 5 main aspects in yourself. With whom have you forged a relationship? Throughout the entire cycle, can you attain a relationship more elevated than this one? In relationships, the main thing is to have an eternal relationship. All relationships with the Eternal Father are eternal. Did you ever find a relationship through which you were able to attain the attainment of all relationships through one? So are you complete with all relationships? Secondly, connection means company. That is a companion. Why do you have a companion? Why do you have a connection? And with whom do you have a connection? You have a companion at a time of need, at a time of difficulty, for support and cooperation, for bringing happiness into your mind when going through an unhappy stage, and to share your unhappiness. Did you find such a true companion or such elevated connections for which you had kept this aim? Such a companion who is altruistic, who does not have any favoritism, who is eternal and who is powerful. Did you ever find such a connection? Or can you find such relationships? What company is remembered as the eternal, true, and elevated company? Have you found the true company and relationship with the Lord of Divinity, the one who changes iron into real gold, or are you still missing this? Have you found this, or are you going to find this? Is it that you have found it, but that you are still attempting to recognize it? Since you have found the company, having found the company, why do you sometimes move away from that companion? Why do you become mischievous in fulfilling the responsibility of your company? Sometimes you even play games of sulking. Is it that you like to play this game so that your companion can come and make it up with you? Or is it that the children have the sanskars of playing games? Do you think in this way and thereby continue to play these games under the influence of these sanskars? Do you like this game? Speak. Is it that you like it and this is why you're doing it? However, what do you lose in this game? Do you know this? Whilst you're still playing this game, you cannot meet your true companion. So whilst playing games, you miss out on the meeting. For so long, you have been calling out with a pure desire for there to be a meeting between the father and the children. And you also know for how long this meeting can take place, that it is only for a short time. But in spite of that, you waste this meeting of such a short time by playing games. Will you get this time again? So now finish playing these games. All of you are in the stage of retirement. Does it seem right for those who are in the stage of retirement to play these games? Just look at yourself as a detached observer as to whether you have constantly attained the true companion, the elevated connections, and the elevated company. Thirdly, there is love. Have you not yet attained the love of all relationships? Have you not yet become experienced in this? Are you lacking anything in the love of all relationships? In order to fulfill this, you need one particular thing. If you do not have this, then even whilst receiving love, you're not able to experience it. What is the main method with which you can attain true love and the love of all relationships with one? What main things are essential in order to attain your rights? To belong to the one Father and none other. Is this slogan in your life, in your thoughts, and also practically, not just in thoughts? Not just in thoughts, but also in the practical form. Do you belong to the one Father and none other? Only then can you experience true love and the love of all relationships. Are you easily able to attain all attainments in your wealth and everything that Baba spoke about? Are you the one who have such fortune of happiness that you do not lack anything? Whilst knowing this, accepting this and following it, why do you sometimes forget the star of your fortune? Bap Dada is happy to see the star of your fortune and also praises you. He turns the beads of the rosary of such fortunate children every day. Have you become such beads who are remembered by the Father? It is not a big thing to become a bead of the rosary of victory, but it is a great fortune to be a bead that is remembered by the Father. When you're seated on the throne of having such fortune, and on Baba's heart throne, why do you get off the throne? Baba has given his children the crown of responsibility of this elevated task. After wearing such a crown, you take off your crown, and what do you replace it with? What would happen if you keep this picture and also the picture of your being seated on the throne with a crown? You like the picture of being seated on the throne whilst wearing a crown, and yet you do the other. You take the crown off and you carry instead a heavy basket of wasteful thoughts and wasteful words. You become crownless. Since you do not even like to see such a picture, you become merciful whilst seeing it. So why do you place this burden on your head? Therefore, continue to move along whilst being and considering yourself to be very fortunate. Do you understand? Acha. To those who have all the relationships, connections, and love with the One, to those who remain constantly full of all the imperishable wealth, to those who fulfill the responsibility of true companionship, to the children who maintain the awareness of belonging to the One Father and none other, Bap Dada's love, remembrances, good morning, and namaste. So, Om Shanti, everyone. Once again, please reflect on this beautiful Murli, and then we will share your reflections after a minute or so. Okay, if you have had time to reflect, would anyone like to start sharing now?
Om Shanti. A very beautiful Murli, and it actually reminds us how fortunate we are. We are having, such great fortunate to have a meeting with Baba every day. In fact, and the intoxication is that there's no limit. We can feel him. We can experience his companionship every moment. Only we put our limits on us. Baba never puts any limit, and Baba says that experience all relationships, not only just thought, but also in practical. So I think that was the most intoxication point, which I'm taking this as a takeaway. And thank you, Baba, for such a wonderful Murli. Om Shanti.
Thank you, brother. Yes, we are really fortunate, and this Murli is highlighting that very beautifully. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else would like to share their thoughts? So people are in the mode of feeling very fortunate and are reflecting on that experience. And if you can just share what is going through your mind, it'll be a nice journey.
Om Shanti, sister.
Yes,
We
sister, go ahead.
found,
Yes, sir.
at last in the confluence stage, we found our companion, but because of our old sanskar, do not allow to be with that one company. That is Supreme Father. Maya brings different form, different obstacles, different tactics that are separated as far away from the Father. We are forgetting our responsibility and still doing some mischievous activities towards Father. So if we are doing and playing game again and again. So if we are still playing this game, means we will miss our true companion. Baba said you are all in the stage of retirement. Uh, this is the confluence stage only. We are meeting the Father. Father said the meeting with the Father and children is very short time. But in spite of that, we are wasting our time in such a sort of mysterious playing games. So this is the right time to finish all the game. Now we must be a detached observer, attain constantly through companion, elevated connection as the father option.
Yes, sister, thank you so much. In fact, Baba very interestingly says, are you still the children that have the sanskars of playing games? So that you want to lose in the game. So he very, in a humorous manner, he's actually reminding us that why do you want to lose? You're still playing this game, and you cannot meet your true companion whilst playing these games, and therefore you miss out on the meeting. So it was a beautiful reflection. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share?
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti Gijaban.
A question I often ask after taking the Gyan: how is it possible for a mortal like me to make God as a friend? And not just a friend, it's a constant friend. Because earlier when we are approached to God. Of course, it's out of fear, it is reverence, it is respect. It is to say, if you don't do this, you'll be punished. If you don't do this, you'll be punished. But it's after taking the Gyan, we just dived deep and deep in his love. And the one thing which as a mortal, I feel, how can, and that's what when everyone asks, how can a human being, a mortal, make God as a friend? That's what is Baba saying in today's Murli. Yes, sit on my heart throne, and I'm the best companion. And it's like as if I am doing what my Sati, my lovely Sati wants me to do. I would like to become like him. Even though the figure of father is what I always take first. Because for me, I look up to him. He gave me the knowledge, he gave me the sustenance. And that role always is what attracted me first. But what held me, what gave me that emotional kind of strength in all these relationships, his companion. That's the only Bhagwan, you know, that song when it used to be played, Bhagwan Mera Sati Hai. Each word in that song, even though it was just lyrics, I used to go like I went through this Murli. Baba is saying, why do you sulk with such a person? Why do you leave such a person? How can you play games of child with such a person? If you're going to do it, you're missing the meeting. Such an altruistic, such an elevated, such a true, and he calls himself as Parasna. Well, I think if you sit down in meditation, that companionship just flows, showers upon you for like love. That's the two things which I take from the Murli. Love, and that both the Baba has just placed next to each other point. Mine is one Shiv Baba and none other. Ek Bal, Ek Bharosa. I think we can dwell a lot and lot on this. Each of us can churn really and bring out that love. And one more thing which I like is, I am in God's dictionary. He is remembering me. Baba remembers me. What a intoxication point I can share with people to say, you know, God remembered me. I think this is the love we should bring forth today from our heart. The companionship, the love. That's, I think, the most intoxication thing.
Thank you, sister. That's a wonderful sharing. And you're absolutely right that in the Murli, Baba is so nicely saying that you're not just the bead in the rosary, but the important thing is that Baba is remembering you as that bead in the rosary. And that is the stage of elevation that, we are all trying to be there, or already there, some of us. But the fact is that Baba remembering us. But then my other reflection on what you just said is, I thought Baba would remember everyone because we are all his children. So that's just a side thought. And also what you said in the beginning, that initially it was like fear, and respect for the Almighty. But to be honest, that was created by the people around. I don't think Almighty ever said that you should fear me. That was an interpretation by the people to make sure that you don't do things wrong and to create that environment of fear. But in my reflection, Almighty has always been showering love. It is the way we looked at it that has changed now with Gyan. That awareness has come in. But thank you so much for sharing, sister. Anybody else would like to share their thoughts? I can see one message from Usha, sister. Baba turns the beads of fortunate children every day, and he's explaining to how to be a detached observer. Yes. How to be the detached observer is the very important one. how to stay with that crown and not be sucked into the illusionary world happens when you have that spirit of detachment and constant remembrance of Baba. Anyone else would like to share? What are those five, Baba says, check these 5 main aspects in yourself. Does anyone remember all these 5?
Relationships,
Om Shanti.
relation,
The 5 elevated or relationship, elevated connection, true love, and all types of wealth and success.
Yes. So elevated relationships and connections. Anyone would like to share their experience and how they experience their elevated relationship with Baba or their companionship with Baba, where he says the connection actually means companion.
That is, in relationship, the main thing is to have the eternal relationship. All relationships with the eternal Father are the eternal, and we need a companion at the time of need, at a time of difficulty, for support and cooperation, for bringing happiness into our mind when going through an unhappy state and to share your unhappiness. So in this time we need a company. So
Yes. Thank you,
uh,
sister.
actually, if you see, sister, relationship comes out of needs and expectations, and when we have an unfulfilled kind of a desire. So if we try to fill spirituality into our relationships, we will project it from the physical relationships towards an altruistic relationship which is given. So even though this depends, whether it's a father, mother, dada, or whatever the 7 relationships, but father relationship has always held me in awe.
Yes, sister. But on the other hand, Baba also says that every relationship you can see as if it is Baba there. Or you could see it as a father or a companion or in different forms and lights. So I think this is a personal journey, how you experience Baba through your relationships. Anybody would like to add on to their own journey in this respect? So in the meanwhile, Sister Deepika is saying in the chat that Baba said that it's not a big deal to enter the rosary of victory, but it is a great deal to become a bead of a rosary that is remembered by the Father. Yes, so true. Having all relationships with Baba will finish attachment. So on this point and on the point that we were just discussing, any personal journey story of your relationship with Baba in the elevated form, or your connection as a companion at the time of need or even otherwise, that you could experience that blissful, magical feeling of Baba being with you.
With regards to challenging situations, it comes in maybe through test papers, which come from relationships or from situations. My personal experience has been, it has been very easy to communicate and establish connectionship as a friend and a companion with Almighty, because He's one who gives an unconditional listening and understanding of what the soul is going through. And maybe not at that moment, but in that journey, somehow the lessons come through him through a message that what needs to be managed at that point of time is my way of being, just being stable and have patience that everything will fall at place at the right time. That assurance has been always coming, whether it had been pandemic situations or whether it had been any kind of conflicts in any relationships. That has been my personal journey with experiencing these two relationships. Om Shanti.
That's very nice, Sister Rakhi. Thank you for your sharing. Anyone else would like to share? Have any of you played games of sulking? You know, Baba has not done this. He should have been there. Then we play these little games.
Yes, I have done that. The initial part of the journey, that Baba, how can you just sit quietly and have somebody just keep on telling or misbehaving? How can you see that? Is this the role of a companion? These kind of conversations has been done with Baba in the initial part of establishing relationship.
Yes. And sometimes I've heard it from my friends and even in my own self. Like if you really, surrendered some aspect of your life and you're praying hard and you're actually focusing on Baba, and sometimes something still doesn't happen, momentarily you sulk again. And then you realize there's a reason. I mean, despite your effort, it's not happening. And then when you let go and you say, okay, it's okay, I'll just keep doing what I have to do. Baba is always there, and leave that expectation, and then it suddenly happens. Have any of you faced this? So when you stop sulking and when you stop expecting is when it actually happens. Meanwhile, Sister Usha is writing, constantly keep Baba as my companion. When going to do my job, keeps me fearless and happy. And give my heart to one, love connected to his virtues. I'm honest with him. And we are all very fortunate. So thank you for sharing on the chat box. Which is the star Baba spoke about?
North Star.
Yes, North Star. So do we see that star sparkling in front of you always? Or does it hide away? Because there is only one star that doesn't change its position. And that star is called the North Star. So Baba in the beginning of the Murli had given that reference as well.
Just to add one very small kind, how do I go through this? I think to really understand the companion of God, I went through Dadi Janki's book on Companion of God. It was such a beautiful thing where she really goes through and speaks about all relationships. What is companionship? How do I extract from my friend? And also, like, suppose even I have a headache, I'll say, Baba, what are you doing sitting up over there? Please come down because my head is ripping. Come down, you're my friend. Like, Khuda dost, you're my Khuda dost. All these things, which really even made me, you were saying, more than experience for me. I didn't need to have a challenge or something to do it. It was a live-in relationship which I always had with Baba for every small trivial matters or trivial things. That something shows Sati. But that book, I think one should really go through Companion of God to understand how God is really my companion.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I remember, I used to, when I even go for shopping, and I'm not saying it happens all the time, but initially, And I would like, oh, take me to the right place and just be with me because I don't have so much time. Let me go to the right place to buy and the right value. Just take me into that corner. And I remember my Lokik mother used to say, what, you're wasting all your energy for these routine things. You're trying to ask so many things from the Almighty. And then I would say, yeah, but then, he has to be around me all the time. And I would ask for these silly things. And I feel like laughing actually now when I reflect on my own journey. But then when I read sometimes these Murlis, and I wonder, because I was kind of always wanting that he's always around me, even if it's in silly things, like nothing that you really need to ask for. But he's my companion, he's my friend, like, he's supposed to be there. And he gives me those right answers. So it's just a sharing. Anyone else would like to share their own journey?
Om Shanti.
Yes, sister.
Today, um, it's my personal experience that we have to adjust a lot with when we are living with so many people, and we have to match with their sanskars. And Baba teaches us through the Murli that how to coordinate with them. But we start questioning Baba as we think that only we are doing everything, but it is not like that. It is Baba who is getting it done through us. So if we remember this point, then we feel the magic of Baba in situations when we get helpless and nothing is happening according to what we think is right. And that is why we should be always remembering this, that Baba is doing it. And when we remember this, then it becomes very, very easy. And also we get new experiences which make us stronger. Om Shanti.
Yes, very nice, sister. So anything that is happening around us, actually, if we always know that it is Baba that is doing it, we are just experiencing something for us to experience and deliver. The way we react or the way we respond to that situation becomes calm, stable, and if it is especially with the remembrance of Almighty along, it's a beautiful journey. And the same thing becomes like a great learning lesson, whether it is in relationships or anything else. So thank you for that sharing. Any more thoughts, more reflections from anyone else who has not spoken so far? The third one was love, right? The attainment.
Yes.
Are you lacking anything in the love of all relationships? And if you are, then you're not able to experience it. So I think in the beginning we shared this, that if you belong to the one Father and none other, then you actually not only experience the love of Baba, you actually experience the love of all relationships. Because you see Baba in everyone. I mean, you start relating to that context.
Om Shanti, sister. Today,
Yes,
Amrit
brother.
Vela, I was churning during Amrit Vela today this point that which relationship I am not experiencing with Baba. Which is that there are so many relationships, and the primary relationships are limited, but there are many relationships like, for example, Chacha or Chachi. Just I'm trying to be practical, or Sasurji or Sas, or it could be Beti, Beta, or it could be boss, or it could be a subordinate, or it could be that gatekeeper of the office. which, these relationships, every relationship brings in attainment. And if I'm not having that attainment, that means I'm not fulfilling the relationship. I'm not experiencing that from Baba, that relationship. I mean, logically I'm doing it, but logically I'm not enjoying that relationship with Baba in that relationship. So that was a beautiful churning, which gave me a lot of things. There are still some relationships which I am not sort of devoting time and energy in those relationships. So I am primarily focusing presently in my Purusharth on he's my father, supreme father. He's my supreme professor. I do quite often because I am in research. And supreme Sadguru, because I keep taking his blessings. But where are the other relationships? And also, of course, supreme Sajan. I keep taking that, experiencing that. But where is the other, like supreme child, supreme daughter, supreme son? So those relationships, I think I need to work on those relationships, and then I will be able to experience all relationships. They merge into one. Then that becomes a elevated stage. Om Shanti.
Yeah, very nice sharing, brother. And very rightly, you pointed out that there are actually so many relationships. And therefore, this Murli, when he says that special sentence, that when you belong to the Father and none other, actually you experience true love and the love of all relationships. So here it would also mean the love of your family members, your friends, your colleagues, your people in your society, because you're seeing Baba through them in some form or the other. So every relationship becomes very loving and you begin to receive that love. So in fact, my own journey in 2020, November, I took a decision and now I said in the Almighty Source, like, visualizing the light, and I did my prayers and I said, now I'm married to you. And that was my relationship. And I told my Lokik husband that, yes, you're very much there, but now you're number two. I have a number one whom I'm married to, my real husband. And in every form, whether he's my friend or he's my truest companion. So he smiled, he didn't say anything. Luckily, I'm blessed that I had a person who did not object. And I'm just leading my normal Lokik life and a beautiful relationship with the Almighty. So very much, it is just a blessing, I feel. So this line made me remember that when you have that kind of connection with the Almighty, even your other relationships become loving.
That's a very nice point you shared, sister, that Baba is always number one. And rest, the worldly relations, they come as a number two. And while practicing this, definitely we feel that godly love from the locking relationships also. The harmony in relationships increases like anything if we take Baba as number one, because we'll be in soul consciousness states that time when we are giving first sharings with Baba. First, any secret, anything happens in my life, any joy, sorrow, anything, whom do I tell first? Deep inside, whom do I remember first? Whose image comes first? I should tell him or her. That should be Baba.
Yes, that's correct. So sweetly said, but that's true. When you are even the slightest, wavering mind or unstable or disturbed, you think of Baba first, in whichever form you want to visualize, but that is the deep connection. So this is a wonderful sharing, and anybody else would like to also say before we move on to the meditation?
Yes, Sister, Divine Family, such a beautiful example you have shared when you have shared with your Lokik husband. He is my number one and you are number two. Wow, wow. I'm so proud of you, sister.
Thank
For
you.
me, personal journey is Baba, you are with me I go. Baba, you laugh with me, you walk with me, you talk with me, you sing with me, you dance with me. Baba, I am you, you are me. We both are together forever, forever. तू मेरा बाबा मैं तेरी पुत्री तू मेरा बाप मैं तेरी बेटी तू मेरा टीचर मैं तेरी स्टूडेंट तू मेरा सब कुछ मैं तेरी बच्ची बाबा I belong to you. You belong
Your voice is breaking, I think.
together forever. Thank you. Om Shanti. This is my personal experience after learning Rajyoga meditation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Balvinda sister. I can see that you're so divinely connected because it shows in your voice and in your connection. Thank you for your sharing. And also we have some messages in the chat box. Observe what you need or lacking. How does Baba fill it? He's world's universal lover, fills us with everything. Yes, so true. And one more message. Relationship is like with the father, connection with the guru, love with the Periya Darshan, wealth with the grandfather, and success with Bap Dada. So different ways of expressing the connection. Thank you, sister, for sharing. And we are all blessed as we are sitting in God's heart throne. He uplifts and nurtures our love. You are my Rab. Such wonderful sharing by all of you. So before we begin, one last time, I'll just ask if anybody else still wants to share. Okay, so if not, we have a reminder here for the Sunday program, which is to be conducted by Brother Arif. And it's a class based on the Murlis that we read this week, the way of the Maharati. So it is requested that everybody reads the Murlis once again so that you can have a deeper conversation tomorrow along with Brother Arif. So Rakhi Ben, anything else you would like to add to that?
This is perfect. We can move on to meditation.
Okay, all right. So let's all just deeply connect to our inner self. Observe your breath calmly as you breathe in and you breathe out. And if you think that the breath itself is leading you to Baba immediately and connecting you to the universe, you can visualize that happening. And as you totally relax, focus in the center of your forehead, the beautiful twinkling star, your inner soul, the light within you, glowing, shining, most fortunate to be connected to Baba. The real fortune that we are seated on Baba's heart throne. And as a twinkling, shining star, we can experience that. And as we look into the galaxies of the brilliant of stars there, my eyes are focused on the North Star, the star that is so fixed and doesn't move. And I am like that North Star, the star that is determined, that is sure, that is thankful for the glorious gift that Baba has given us. See yourself now exiting your body as that beautiful twinkling star, moving higher and higher towards the North Star, and taking the energy of the North Star with you. You enter Paramdham, where you can see Baba there, or just the light, and your twinkling star is within that. And your star now has the throne on it, has the crown on it, and the soul is now seated on that beautiful throne with the beautiful crown on it. And Baba is smiling at you as you enter his heart with that crown on your head. Enjoy that blissful, elevated relationship with him, that elevated connection, that elevated companionship feeling. As Baba is smiling, and so are you. And you have that beautiful crown on your head, and you're sitting on Baba's heart throne. And Baba is telling you, I always remember you. You're not only in the rosary as a bead, but you're as a bead that I remember. You are my near and dear. You are my loved one. I'm always there for you, blessing you, guiding you, helping you. Just keep the connection open. Just remain focused like the North Star, and fortune is already yours. Keep the crown always with you. Don't let it fall. And we gracefully accept that beautiful love, the beautiful guidance of Baba. And Maya, that is looking from the side, knows that she has lost, because our crown is permanently placed on our heads and Baba's heart. We are so fortunate to receive this beautiful blessing. Experience this magical moment for the next 30 seconds in silence. What beautiful vibrations that you can now receive. And you can also spread your own light throughout the universe, helping everyone through your own vibration. As the way Baba is loving you, you are loving everyone around you. And you can see Baba's light and your own light in all the relationships, in all the connections that you have on the earth. And with this divine blessing, you slowly come back as that twinkling star, but retaining the energy of the North Star, of permanency, of determination. Return to your body and experience that the crown is still yours. It will always be there, as long as you have the deepest connection with Baba. What a glorious moment. We're so, so fortunate. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family, for sharing this beautiful journey with us. Thank you, everyone in this path. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Divine Family. And we shall meet tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.